All right, Counter Punch Boxing. What is going on YouTube? Look, I'm in a good mood again today. I've been feeling good lately, I just been in a good mood, and just want to talk about boxing. So I thought, let's get on YouTube. Let's do a little boxing talk. I'm still trying to do my video a day. But quickly, I want to say thank you to all the people that regularly, that's hard to say, support the channel. If you're new to the channel, welcome. You're in good hands. But look, today it's going to be kind of an overall, I'm going to tell the tape, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, of Billy Joe Saunders and David Lemieux. And look, you guys know I do my homework. I got a lot of good information, so just kick back, relax. Here we go. Okay, let's start with Billy Joe Saunders, right? Like I said, this is an overall discussion, okay? 2015, Andy Lee, right? Complete snooze fest, all right? We remember that. Of course, look, if you just go look at the highlights, okay? Boring fight, right? Akavov, right? A narrow, all right? Narrow win over Akavov, okay? Later that year. And remember, actually, I don't hear a lot of people talking about this. Saunders was going to fight Kirkside, but remember, Kirkside got busted for racketeering, right? And basically, that's how Willie Monroe Jr. came into play. So now we know he moved on, beat Willie Monroe Jr., and here we have the mandatory David Lemieux, right? And I always think like Pepe Le Pew. I don't know if you guys remember the skunk, Pepe Le Pew, David Lemieux, okay? But we'll get into what I think is going to happen in the fight. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get this one right, but I don't know. You never know. David Lemieux, I mean, well, what can I say about Mr. David Lemieux? 38 and 3 losses now, 80% knockout ratio. That's going to play an important factor in the fight. Marcos Reyes, Stevens, knockout of the year against Stevens. Rios, of course, losing to Gennady Golovkin, Nadam, beating Nadam. What was it? Guerrero, Rosado, I believe. He's got a pretty good looking resume. Now, check this out. Okay, in his last 14 fights, he has 9 knockouts, okay? Now, if you look at Billy Joe Saunders, right, in his, I want to say his last 10 fights, only 2 knockouts, okay? So Billy Joe Saunders, only 2 knockouts in his last 10 fights. David Lemieux, he has 9 out of 14. And knockout of the year against, Curtis Stevens. But was Curtis Stevens damaged goods? Probably. Probably, but still, it was a good knockout. Now, the Marcos Reyes fight, I saw that in a big giant theater, pay-per-view. He was on the undercard of whatever that fight was, can't remember. On the undercard, I'm in a big giant theater. By the way, you guys should go check out the pay-per-views in a movie theater. It's an awesome experience. I highly recommend you check it out. But here I am. I've got like a 10-foot tall David Lemieux, Marcos Reyes. Marcos Reyes put on a hell of a fight. He wasn't going down. And that was supposed to be kind of the showcase fight, and whatnot. Didn't really go his way, but regardless, David Lemieux, he walked away with the W. But like I said, an 80% knockout ratio, 5'9 and a half, 70-inch reach. Now, Billy Joe Saunders got him on the height and the reach, 5'11", and I've got the stats. Let's see, I've got the stats. Yeah, right here. Billy Joe Saunders, 5'11", 73-inch reach. So he's taller, rangier, and we know that, and a lot of people want to argue with me. But I say, I categorize Billy Joe Saunders as more of a defensive boxer. He's a boxer, defensive, but you never know what you're going to get. Is he going to be out of shape? Is he going to be overweight? You never really know. To where David Lemieux, to me, he's a headhunter. He's a power puncher. Mediocre, I would say a B-level boxer, but with power, okay? Now, I'm going to let you guys in on a little, I don't want to say a secret, but again, I don't hear anyone talking about this stuff. I go and I listen to other people's, their videos or whatever, and I don't hear anyone talking about, things that are really important in my mind, that really, should change the way you think of the actual fight. Okay, 5 months ago, David Lemieux said, and now this, I'm going to paraphrase here, but he said, at this stage of my career, I cannot do close fights, okay? He said, basically, he can't take any risky fights, okay? And this was David Lemieux 4.5 months ago. I mean, actually, you know what? I'll put a link in the box below. You guys can go, you can listen to the interview for yourself. I mean, I'm telling you exactly what he said. He said, at this stage of my career, I cannot take, close fights, dangerous fights, high risk, whatever you want to call it. He said, my doctor told me that I have the hands of a 70-year-old man, something to that effect. Okay, so his doctor, he went to the doctor. Doctor said, he's got the hands basically of a 70, an old man, right? And therefore, he cannot take, he can't get involved in a brawl, in a war, in a battle, because his power, basically, his hands can't hold up to the power. And, that's very common, very common. I mean, you can wrap your hands, I don't know, maybe he could do what Mayweather does and get the shots in his hands, right? Wear the orthopedic gloves or whatever. I don't know if he's ever gone to those kind of measures, but he could, right? I mean, just a thought, because I believe, what gloves does he wear? Is it the Reyes? I don't remember. Maybe it's Everlast. I can't remember. But regardless, I don't think he's ever taken any kind of, preventative measures into protecting his hands in a fight, just regular hand wraps and gloves, right? So, but anyway, but that's what he said. And to me, okay, like, well, what is it? And he turned the fight down. By the way, he turned it down. Okay, so when they were negotiating, trying to get the Willie Monroe Jr. fight going, David Lemieux turned it down. Said, it's too high of a risk. I can't take it. Okay, but now all of a sudden, I guess I don't know what changed. I guess he's like, if I'm gonna, be in this game, I got to be in the game, right? If I'm gonna do it, I got to do it. Now he takes the fight. So, I thought that was I don't know, just a major sign of weakness in my mind. Coming out of David Lemieux, turned the fight down, says, he can't take any big fights anymore. He's worried about his hands. He's the smaller guy, and really Billy Joe Saunders is favored to win. Now, I mean, you know what? I guess I'll go ahead and tell you. I think Billy Joe Saunders will walk away with the decision, and we'll get into why I think that in a minute. But I'm just shocked, like I said, that David Lemieux would even say anything like that. But what? And I heard it on another channel, and then I went and read the article and everything, and that's exactly what he said. So, like I said, very discouraging, I think, if you're a David Lemieux fan. But the press conference, they've been heated, but I don't like how Billy Joe Saunders, he keeps talking about Gennady Golovkin. It's like, it seems like Golovkin is the man to talk about because, he keeps telling him, you had your chance and, you're the dog meat or something. You're the leftover dog meat and I want the dog. It's just Billy Joe Saunders. I don't like him on a personal level. I don't like him. Even as a boxer, I think he's overrated and he's held on to this WBO for so long now. And I think that it's time that the WBO just it needs to go. And I wish, and like most of you out there, I wish Gennady Golovkin would have made that fight to become undisputed back when it was available, and then Billy Joe Saunders, he'd be retired, something like that. So, because I think Gennady Golovkin would have retired him, for real. But Billy Joe Saunders, so of course David Lemieux, Willie Monroe Jr., Akavov, Andy Lee, like we just talked about, Bloyer, Eubanks, right? Chris Eubanks, Blackwell, Hall, whatever. So, but like I said, only 2 knockouts in 10 fights. I mean, that's like, damn. I went and looked at his record, and I didn't realize that. But I was actually, shocked by that. So, what I think's going to happen, I don't want to babble too long. I really think we're going to get a decision. I think it's going to be kind of a boring fight. You're going to have David Lemieux headhunting all night, taking them big shots, those haymakers, right, like he does. And hopefully he cuts his damn hair, because every single fight, every time I watch David Lemieux, he's like messing with his hair. I'm like, dude, cut your damn hair before a fight, right? So, hopefully he cuts his damn hair and, it just bugs the shit out of me. So, but also, by the way, also, I want to mention December 2nd, we got Cotto and Saddam Ali. It'll be the farewell fight for Cotto and Pascal somewhere in there. I forget who he's up against. And then, of course, Loma Rigondeaux. Now, look, I'm going to make this channel all about Loma Rigondeaux because we got that coming up too, December 9th. And then Salido, I believe Salido will be fighting on another network. I think it's Fox Deportes or whatever, but December 9th, you got Salido fighting. Who else? James DeGale somewhere in there. I don't remember who but Povetkin versus Hammer or whatever that dude's name is. I don't have it in front of me here, but we've got some decent fights coming up for the end of the year. Look, Povetkin, he's just getting too damn old, so I don't know what's going to happen with him. It's just a matter of time before somebody knocks his ass out, and he's pretty much out of the game. But to further add credence to my pre-prediction, it's not my official prediction, but my pre-prediction, Saunders, he's like, look, I'm going to, by the way, it'll be the first time he's on HBO, first time he's fought in Canada. And he's like, hopefully the judges, they give me a fair decision. So he's already like basically saying, he's not talking about knocking out David Lemieux. He's talking about, hopefully the judges will, they don't rob me whenever it goes to the cards. We go 12 rounds. Hopefully the judges, they get it right. So he's already making comments like that. So what does that tell you? I mean, and it could be like a reverse psychology, whatever. I'm sure if the knockout is there, he'll go for it, but I don't think he has the power. I really don't. I don't think he has the power, and I don't think that's his game plan. I think his game plan is going to come in there, just basically do enough to win each and every round. Okay. He's going to try to get, 5 or 6 rounds in the bank, and then maybe coast through. That's what I'm thinking. And all the while, you're going to have David Lemieux looking for a knockout, but worried about his hands at the same time. I don't know. I don't see a real exciting fight, to be honest. But, hey, hopefully I get it wrong, but I just don't see, I don't see. Look, basically, we all know, we all want to see what's going to happen with Canelo Golovkin, right? And let me end on this, okay? Now, you guys know I was really pushing for that rematch, but now, after I put a lot of thought into it, I really don't care. I already know, in my heart of hearts, I know Golovkin beat Canelo. Canelo knows he lost. Everybody knows. So, what does he do? So now, I think, I believe that Golovkin should go after, the WBO. But here's the problem. I brought it up in my other video. You have Canelo is the mandatory for the WBO. So basically, Canelo's got it on lockdown. And it's like, look what they've done. I mean, look, it's really shady in my mind. Okay, look what Oscar De La Hoya has done. He's basically, denied Golovkin a rematch, but also, by becoming the #1 mandatory for the WBO, he's denying Gennady Golovkin the final belt that he needs to become undisputed, like Bernard Hopkins, Carlos Monzon, the great fighters before him did. So what does he do? I mean, what the hell, fight another mandatory? Really, that's all Golovkin can do, probably, is fight another mandatory, with one of the other belts, so... he's got the WBA, WBC, IBF, and IBO, so, he can just take another mandatory, maybe a Charlo, I don't know, and then in a recent interview, Golovkin talked about moving up, he said, well, if things don't work out with me and Mr. Canelo here, maybe I can move up. That's a possibility. So I don't know. I mean, I have no idea what's going to happen in the middleweight division. Like, if I had to guess, I would probably say that Billy Joe Saunders wins by decision. Okay. And then you're going to have a Canelo Saunders, and then maybe, I don't know, maybe a Golovkin-Canelo rematch, maybe. Who knows? Or maybe Canelo will say, he's moving back, moving down to light middleweight, or who knows? I mean, I just don't know. I simply don't know. And I'm getting kind of tired of it too. So I'm really looking forward, talking about Lomachenko and Rigondeaux. So, and I've made some pretty good videos talking about those two guys. So, if you guys go down in my video catalog, you will see the videos that I've already made, talking about them. I've given some pretty good breakdowns. So, but yeah, I'll probably leave it at that, guys. Like I said, I got Billy Joe Saunders winning by decision. I think he's going to do just enough. I don't think it's going to be a very exciting fight. And as far as, where does David Lemieux go if he loses? Who knows, right? What does he do? He'll probably continue boxing, maybe have a few more fights. And this is how I see it playing out. I know a lot of you Lemieux fans out there, you're probably like, your ears are blowing smoke right now. You're turning red in the face. Like, what the hell is this guy talking about? But just trust me. He's not going to win this fight. So anyway, what do you guys think? Who do you have winning? If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. And I'll see you after the fight, because I'm pretty sure I'm feeling really confident about this. I'm pretty sure I got it right.